You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Sports Extra on a Tuesday, keeping you informed.
We have 10 seasons tonight.
Sports Extra Cayman Islands.
A young team full of talent, full of desire to do good things.
We've had some success with the outdoor league being restarted.
Good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Tonight we have a special guest for you. Cayman's Olympic sprinter, Shalisa Ray, is going to chat with us in the first segment for Radio Cayman Sports Extra. Shalisa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty, wonderful. It's great to have you on board. How are things?
Things are great. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, no problem. And coming up next, in the next segment, we'll have Dr. Shari Smith. She's a clinical psychologist. She has over 30 years of experience, and we can't wait to hear her information. It's a coordination that we're actually doing with the Department of Sports. So sports coordinator for women with the Department of Sports, Miss Mita Day will also be in studio with us, and we're going to talk about work-life balance. All right, and this is all, for Honoring Women's Month, in support of Honoring Women's Month. So we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll chat with Shalisa, and then we'll hear from Dr. Shari Smith and Miss Mita Day.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker searching for employment? All jobs, whether full-time, part-time, temporary, or permanent, will be required to advertise on the Jobs Cayman portal. Visit work.ky. That's worc.ky to start your job search to see all available jobs or to apply. For assistance in registering or to learn more, call toll-free 1-800-534-9672 or customer care at 945-9672. 945-9672 today.
The 12 p.m. weather report is brought to you by Kirk Home Center. To see what you can save this month on kitchen gadgets, housewares, decor items, patio furniture, tools and hardware, lawn and garden items, and gift ideas, check out www.kirkhomecenter.ky.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. So Shalisa, I'm not as fit as you and I just had to do a sprint. Okay, so if you I just had to do a sprint because one of my sheets got stuck on the printer. So I'm just gonna be really honest with you right now. So I'm out of breath. All right, and I need some of your fitness workouts to help me get back in shape.
I'll send you some.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna talk all about it actually. So how are things with you?
Things have been going great so far. I'm just here training, trying to stay fit and get ready for outdoor season.
Alrighty. And for those of you who may not be aware of who Shalisa Ray is, Cayman sprinter and Olympian Shalisa Ray. She was the first person from the Cayman Islands to run the 400 meter in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's right. And she has knocked down personal best as the Kansas State senior sprinter embarked upon the indoor track season. So in the 60-meter dash, Ray finished with a 7.38 seconds. She paired 600ths of a second off her 60-meter best time, finishing second in school history last January. I think this was 2021. Yeah, might have been 2021. This is amazing results. Shalisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you have been into the sport of track and field for those who, are hearing from you and about you for the very first time?
Well, I've been running since I was in preschool, just for kids, to be exact. So I've been running since then, running at sports days there, and I think that's when me and my family realized that track is what I will be doing for the rest of my life. I did actually take a break from the sport when I attended Triple C, but it wasn't that long. I would say it was probably a few months break from the sport until sports day came around and I ran and everyone was like, okay, you need to get back into it. So I've been running for a pretty long time. I'm used to it now. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You know what? We're so happy to have you on here because, as you know, it's Honoring Women's Month, and we are highlighting women in sports as well. And you are one of them. So, and because of your sporting success, being our first Olympian in the 400 meter in Tokyo in 2021. We are very proud to have you here. And of course, we're going to get to that later on where you're going to share with us that experience for those who may not have heard it. I mean, I remember broadcasting it in 2021, but it will be nice for who may not have heard it then. You can rehash that, that experience for them. But in the meantime, though, you finished the indoor track season with 3 new personal records. And for those of you who missed our local sports report last week, do you care to share with us how you feel about this and what does this mean about all your hard work and dedication?
It means a lot to me, especially because last indoors was, I would have to say, terrible for me. So it's just seeing how much I've improved indoors, it does mean a lot, and it does show me what I'm capable of doing outdoors. Finishing the indoor season with 3 personal bests is great to me, and then running a 23 mid inside is also very shocking to me, and it opens my eyes and kind of shows me that I am capable of running really fast times. So I'm really excited to get into outdoors and just show everyone what I'm capable of, show everyone what I've been doing in training. I've been training extremely hard. I would have to say harder than I've ever trained before in my life. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited to just show everyone what I've been working on.
Most definitely. And how has the indoor season been for you think, overall?
I would say it's been great. 10 out of 10 for me. I did struggle with the 400. I would say just because it's different from outdoors. Outdoors is 1 lap, indoors is 2 laps. So it's kind of hard to, get that adjustment into your head. And then on top of that, after the first lap with the 400 indoors, you do have to fight to break over into lane 1 with other athletes. So that messed me up a bit with the 400. But I'm still really happy for my performance because I did end the indoor season with a PR in the 400. So regardless, I would say that my indoor season was amazing.
Awesome. And I would love to talk to you about that, some of the differences with the indoor and outdoor track season. I remember you talking a little bit on our local sports show with that brief interview on the difference between the indoor and outdoor. Can you elaborate a little more and just tell us how that affected you?
I would say with the 400 and the 200, it affected me a little. I guess for the 200, it was just like one lap, one sprint.
Right.
That was kind of a bit nerve-wracking for me because I was just like, oh my gosh, what if I die? Like, what if I don't make it to the line? Like, I'm so scared.
You won't
but
die.
I kind of like got over it. I kind of got over it.
Right.
And like I said, for the 400, it's 2 laps. So that was a bit nerve-wracking as well because for the first lap, it's a very fast first lap. Like, it's not jogging or anything like that. So it was a bit difficult. And then I guess the most confusing part for me was that sometimes you compete on completely flat tracks.
Right.
And then sometimes you compete on banked tracks, which are like tracks where like at the 200, on the curves, I should say.
There's a slope.
Hump, basically. Yeah, so you're running up and then running back down. So that was extremely difficult for me. And then with that as well, I would say the stress came where like either your times would be converted up or it would be converted down. I don't really know how to explain that part with indoors. I don't really know why they do that.
I was going to ask you, is there a special type of training or different set of training for indoor versus outdoor track season? So especially with going up the slopes and coming back down, is that something you practice especially for?
I would say no, because here at my school, we don't have a banked track. We practice on a flat track. And then other schools, there's a lot of other schools in the NCAA that don't have an indoor track, so they actually do train outside all year round.
Right.
So I don't really think there's a way to really train for it. I would just say, like, for pre-meet, which is, like, what we do the day before we compete, we do accelerations up the ramp, and then we do some going down just to, like, prepare us for, the meet, but we don't do, like, any special training, per se, for, like, the banked track.
Okay. And apart from track, what are some of your biggest challenges that you have faced throughout your season and are currently facing, if any?
I would say the only one that I've been facing currently is just kind of trying my best to balance, schoolwork and, traveling for track, because we do travel early on in the week, sometimes Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays early in the morning. So I do miss a lot of class. It has been kind of stressful, but my teachers, they're very, very understanding. So they do send me, like, anything that I missed in class. So it's kind of not that bad, but I just wish it was a bit better.
Okay. And I know you also stressed on your breathing.
Yes.
You were having a little bit of a problem there with your breathing.
Yeah. I don't know how, but I recently got asthma. So that's been kind of bugging me a bit. I've been on like 2 different types of medications just to help with it. It's been getting a bit better, but I'm a bit stubborn when it comes to like taking these medications. So I did kind of stop taking one of them, and I kind of faced the consequences. My breathing kind of got worse. But now I'm back on both of them, so my breathing is fine at the moment, and I'll continue to stay on them so that it doesn't get any worse. And
you're currently in grad school. You just mentioned balancing both books and track can sometimes be difficult. How do you get over that hurdle? See what I did there? Hurdle. Even though you don't do hurdles, but it's okay. Go right ahead.
The thing is, with grad school at NCAA, you don't have to take as many classes that you would take when you're undergrad. So I'm only taking 3 classes, so it's not that bad for me. So like I said, it hasn't been as bad. And then I do have like my advisors and my athletic advisors that help me to stay on track. And my coach, he's very big on academics as well, so he ensures that like I stay on track when it comes to school. So it hasn't really been that bad. I would just say having to miss class due to traveling has just been the biggest challenge for me.
It is. It's every athlete's worst nightmare. I've been through it. I've been through it.
The thing is, I think the most stressful part is that like at track meet, I really just want to focus on competing. Like I don't want to be doing.
You want to know schoolwork.
I have to study. Yes, I think that's what That's what kind of has me like all over the place when I'm at meets and like with school.
And it's okay that you share. I'm really happy you're sharing those thoughts because there are other athletes that are probably listening in that are heading off to college that are going to be faced with these same situations. And it is very difficult. And it's also great to have classmates in your corner that know your position as well. You know, you have classmates that that are not playing sports with you, but they're willing to share their notes with you. And
they're the best
they're the best. And teachers that do understand your situation as well, right? So I remember in college I had a teacher that understood, so she would send me my notes via email, right? Or I'd have a classmate that you know knew they want us to win, right? So they'll send us. They wanted us to win, so they'll send all the notes or have notes prepared for when we got back. So, but it is very stressful balancing both because, like you did say, and it's so important, at a time like that, we just want to play. We don't want to study.
That's it. Like, that's the last thing on my mind is schoolwork.
But you know, it's a sacrifice we have to make in order to, so in the near future, we don't have to, we wouldn't be studying. We'd be playing this, doing this professionally, right? And that's the hope. I'm sure that's the hope that you have, that you're going to do this professionally someday.
Definitely.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, you had a good start in 2021 when you went to Tokyo. You had a little taste of it. Yeah, a little taste of it. Tell us a little bit about that experience there, Shalisa.
Okay, so that experience, I would say, was a roller coaster for me. That specific season, I would say, that with indoors, that was like one of the kind of best seasons I had. But outdoors, that was the worst outdoor season I had. Okay. So I do have to admit that I'm going to admit this now. I did not think that I would go to the Olympics.
Okay.
I really didn't have that like in my mind because I already knew that like, okay, this outdoor season is not good. Like I'm not doing as good as I wanted to.
Okay.
So in my head I already had it that like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to go. So when I found out that I was selected to go, I was so surprised when I was first starting. I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like shaking. But like I said, I was grateful. When I got there, I was extremely nervous. I cried the night before the race because I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Like, is this real life? Like, I was literally bawling.
Yes.
Like, Mr. Dionne actually had to call me and like just speak to me because I was just like so nervous. I was like, okay, I don't know if I could do this. And I also spoke to my coach, and he was just like, you know what, just go out there and have fun. Like, just have fun. You're there. That's an accomplishment within itself. Like, just have fun. So I was like, okay, you know what? I need to calm down and just get it together because, like, we can do this. So, like, going into the race, my mindset was really just to go out there and have fun because I really didn't have anything to lose.
Right.
So I was just like, let me go out there and have fun and just learn from this experience. And that's exactly what I did. And I actually came out with a PB. So I was like so shocked and just happy for myself because I was like, wow,
right.
I had such a terrible outdoor season and I came here not expecting to come here and I ran a PR. Like, that's amazing. Like, look what just relaxing and just, putting your mind to something that you want to do could like get you.
And that simple thought of, I have nothing to lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did really learn from that experience, just being there among like world-class athletes and just seeing how they like operate not only on the track but like behind the scenes, just seeing all of that, seeing how their mindset is, just like I said, how their demeanor is. That really like changed my mindset, and I think that it has made me into the athlete that I am today. Like, I'm more determined. I know what I want. I don't let anything distract me or deter me from like what I want out of the sport. I train even more harder, even in days where I just don't feel like I can train. I sit down and I pray to God and I just ask Him for the strength to get me through, and I'm more like, I've grown to become like more closer to my coach as well, and I feel as though that has also contributed to my success so far. So I would say that the experience at Olympics has really opened my eyes and just changed things around for me.
You are one of the most level-headed athletes, young athletes that I've ever met and spoken
Thank
to.
you.
I'm very proud of you. You're doing pretty well as well.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work. And would you say that the Olympics was probably your most memorable experience as an athlete? Or you've
So
had...
definitely it was.
It was, right.
But there was another meet that I went to, I would say a few months after that, that was also really memorable for me. Sorry, because I didn't expect to run that fast at that time of the year. I think it was that same year I went to Colombia. I'm not sure. I don't really remember what the name of the meet was, but I went to Colombia around like November. Which is a weird time to compete outdoors.
Was it Caribbean Games?
Preparing. I'm not even sure. I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, that's
really
okay. You do this for a life, and you have so many meets that you run a year. It's that's quite understandable. But I believe it was the Caribbean Games.
I think it probably was. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was like around such a weird time of the year to compete outdoors. And like I wasn't preparing for it. I wasn't ready to run outdoors or anything like that because I was preparing for indoors.
Right.
But I went there and I ran a PR. And that was like right after the Olympics. So it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing amazing. So that was also really memorable for me because I was just like, wow, this time of the year and I'm running.
Yeah, but you were still running on all that fuel from the Olympics. Yeah, most definitely.
That was just another memorable meet for me.
Alrighty, and your specialties are 200 and 400 meters. Why did you gravitate to those two and not maybe perhaps the 100-meter sprint?
I would say that happened when I moved to Jamaica. I'm not sure if you recall that I went to school in Jamaica for high school.
Mm-hmm.
When I went there, the coach kind of switched me. I would say it was probably because like the school that I went to, they already had their sprinters, so like I didn't really have like a place there. So my coach kind of just threw me into the 4, and he saw that I was really, really good, and then from there, I just stuck with it. And I've always loved the 200. Like, that's just my favorite event. I've just always loved it. And I will forever love it and forever do it. I mean, it's not my set event. It's not something that I, solely do. I am a 400 specialist, but I do like to, do the 200 here and there because I am improving. And I hope to continue to improve in that event because it does help with the 400.
Alrighty. So, in 2021, you were named the 6th fastest 400-meter runner in Kansas State University history and the 4th fastest 400 female runner in the Big 12 Conference. Has those figures changed since you've knocked down, a few more records since then?
I definitely think so. I think especially outdoors.
Okay.
There's only one female that has run faster than me outdoors. I think her name is Nicole Green. Her PR outdoors is 51.9, and it's actually the school record. So I think I would say I'm second best.
Okay.
But my goal is definitely to break that record this year. So I should be number 1 by the end of this outdoor season. In terms of the 200, I am not sure at all. But I think for the 400, I've definitely moved up indoors and outdoors. I think indoors, my coach did tell me after Big 12 that I have the 2nd fastest time all time. Indoors, I was just shy of the indoor record. I think it was 53.1. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
So I think I'm 2nd right now.
Alrighty.
Indoors.
Wonderful. Shalisa, we're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the outdoor season that's coming up mid-March. All right? So stay tuned.
Okay, great.
System 1 loaded. For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Aussie Fusion. Monday to Thursday.
10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Fridays. Radio K-Man. Biggest variety in the morning. Biggest variety. Aussie Fusion.
Following the 10 a.m. news headline.
Biggest variety in the morning.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, where we're chatting with Cayman's Olympian 200 and 400 meter sprinter Shalisa Ray. Shalisa, how are you? Are you still hanging on?
Yes, I am.
All right, awesome. Next up for you, Shalisa, is the NCAA Championships on March 10th through the 11th. How has preparation been for you?
You mean the indoor one?
Yes. Is that indoor or outdoor? I think that's
indoor.
Yeah. How is that?
Going to that. I'm actually not going.
Oh, you're not going to that one?
No, ma'am.
Is there any particular reason why, or is it just that you're over the indoor season? You're done?
The hardest meet in the world to qualify for. That's what people say, because they only take the top 16 in the country in each event. Sadly, I didn't make that count, so I won't be competing in that meet.
Alrighty. So the outdoor season, though, that begins on March 17th and 18th.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Shalisa? Hello? Can you hear me now, Shalisa? All right. I know.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I'm here still, but I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me? All right, I think we may have lost Shalisa. We were going to talk about. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You kind of went away from.
I have no idea what happened. All right, I was about to ask you about your outdoor season, which begins in March, right? So, tell us a little bit about what exactly is your first meet, where, and how has preparation been coming along for that then?
Okay, so my first meet is going to be in San Antonio at UTSA. I'm only doing the 4x4, which I'm excited for. I'm just going to use it to see where I'm at, physically. Training has been, I would say, going pretty decent. Last week, I didn't really do as much. I just did a lot of, strength training. I didn't do, as much, sprints or endurance work. But this week, I'm going to be doing a lot of sprinting and stuff like that. So, I'm really excited to just, run outdoors for a change. Excited to see where I'm at. I won't be doing as much 400s outdoors.
Right.
Or even 200s. My coach doesn't see the sense of running the same event so many times every week. He says it's boring.
So are you going to be doing 60 meters?
No, I'm going to be doing 100. I'm not sure at what, so you can look out for that.
I definitely will.
I'll be competing in the 100. I'll probably do 2 200s and probably around 3 400s, not a lot, because my coach doesn't really see the sense of doing it, so much, especially because I have such a long season ahead. So
okay. Yeah. Do you know how many meets you have in the outdoor season?
I'm not quite sure. I would say it would probably be like 10 or probably fewer. I have probably like 2 or 3 weeks off. I would say I have a week off sometime in March. I have a week off in April, and then I have a week off in May for my birthday. So I'm not exactly sure how many weeks I have, but I know it's a few of them.
Alrighty. I know I asked about preparation earlier, and preparation is not only on the track, but rest as well, because you have so many meets coming up this season. Do you get a lot of rest, Shalisa?
I must admit, I really don't.
You don't?
I really don't.
What's happening in that department?
I've been honestly trying to get a lot of rest. Like I do.
Stay off of Netflix, Shalisa.
I do have that problem, but I do try to get a lot of rest. The thing is, I do have schoolwork that I have to do when I get home.
Right.
And then I have to wake up early for lifting because I have lifting at 7 a.m. every day except for Wednesday. So, I mean, it's been a bit hard, but I've been trying to be more disciplined and go to sleep at, like, a good time. So these days I try to go to bed at 9, and I make sure before I go to bed I, like, count how many hours of sleep I'm going to get. Because if I don't get enough, then that's, like, I've been trying to, like, work on getting rest. And then, like I said, I don't take a lot of classes. So I do have, like, breaks in between the day where I try to take naps either before or after training just so that I won't be, like, really tired.
Okay.
But I'm working on the rest part.
Awesome. Well, I'm wishing you lots of rest going forward to this outdoor season, and all the best. All the best to you throughout the season, and we will keep in touch. And so that I want our Cayman people to keep in touch with, to hear from you and hear how you're doing throughout the outdoor season. Yeah, that would be great. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us here on Radio Cayman Sports Extra.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we'll be chatting with Dr. Shari Smith. She's a clinical psychologist with more than 30 years' experience with special education and disabilities here in the Cayman Islands. In support of Honoring Women's Month, for the entire month of March, every Tuesday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., right, the Department of Sports have teamed up with Radio Cayman Sports Extra to host a series of wellness discussions. Tonight, Dr. Smith and Miss Mita Day will be discussing work-life balance, so you definitely want to tune in for that when we get back. Stay tuned.
Attention passengers, the Cayman Airways Panama airfare sale has been extended. In just under 2 hours aboard Cayman Airways, you can explore UNESCO World Heritage Sites and the 8th wonder of the modern world, all within driving distance of a cosmopolitan city. Hurry, book by March 12th to get Panama airfares on sale from just $296 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Panama getaway.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker searching for employment? All jobs, whether full-time, part-time, temporary, or permanent, will be required to advertise on the Jobs Cayman portal. Visit work.ky, that's worc.ky, to start your job search to see all available jobs or to apply. For assistance in registering or to learn more, call toll-free 1-800-534-9672 or customer care at 945-9672. 945-9672 today.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Good evening and welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. Two wonderful guests in the studio with us, Dr. Shari Smith and Miss Mita Day. Dr. Shari is a clinical psychologist here in the Cayman Islands, and Miss Mita Day is sports coordinator for women with the Department of Sports. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Wonderful to have you all here, and they're all highlighted in purple. And please put the camera on Dr. Shari's hair. It's gorgeous. So how are you all doing?
Doing very well, very well.
All right, wonderful. And this is my first time having you in studio with me. Yeah. So I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am mom first, always.
Right.
And sister, partner, and woman, daughter, you name it. But yeah, my background, as you were saying earlier, started off in special ed. So I am a teacher at heart.
Okay.
And that has grown and grown over the years until I now transition into clinical psychologist. And I have my private practice, Life Options. And it's just about, helping people create a balance in their life. We believe in, helping others put the pieces together, because life is a big giant puzzle, and sometimes the pieces just don't fit.
All right. And we have Miss Mita Day in the studio with us, and this is all in part of a huge initiative with Honoring Women's Month. Can you share your role with this?
Well, as sports coordinator for women, I, along with my supervisor, Emily Kelly, who's assistant director of sports programs, we have this wellness initiative that we thought we would want to roll out for this month. So every Tuesday in this month, and we're so thankful to you at Radio Cayman for teaming up with us to collaborate on this. So this is just the first one in the series.
Yes, and it's going to be exciting. So we've all heard of the phrase work-life balance a million times, but what does this mean? With 77% of workers and 84% of millennial workers reporting, to be burnt out resulting from stress, of course, work-life balance has never been more important.
Exactly.
So when looking for a new role, how do we find out the true answers from prospective employees? Of course, right? So everyone has different priorities, different responsibilities, different opinions on work-life balance. Can you share with us what is yours?
Sure. Well, I think the first step is giving yourself permission to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we're here honoring Women's Month. And so, speaking especially to the women of all ages, because young ladies and teens put just as much pressure on themselves today as, us more mature ladies.
Yeah. It's
right. But it's, there's all kinds of demands, whether it's social, family, your employers. And we kind of live in this culture where we're expected to always be achieving, always be going after doing something, always going. And we really have to take a step and say, I'm going to give myself permission that it's okay to take care of me. Because if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of everybody else.
Yes.
Right? So I think that's the first step, which is really hard because we feel like, we do and take care of everybody first, and then we, take care of ourselves. Next thing would be is creating that balance in small steps, because some people think, well, okay, I've got to go on, 5-day yoga retreat, which would be awesome, but that may not be practical.
Right.
So it may be just implementing, 1 to 2 minutes each day in your routine of doing something, whether you're just taking a break, you're going outside, doing some yoga stretches, just being mindful. So just starting off small so that it becomes naturally a part of what you do.
Right.
And then, the other thing is making sure you differentiate between work and life. One of the things with COVID, obviously we all went to working at home, right? And a lot of companies have continued to give that option to their employees.
Right.
But we also saw that what happened is that when we were working at home, the demands of work were either still the same or they became even more because you were supposed to be available 24/7,
Yes.
right? So that balance and that, definition line of, well, I'm at home, so I'm no longer work, got very muddled.
Right.
And so persons who are still working remote, creating a space where they can make that line definitive, so whether it's a space that you can say, okay, this is when I'm in this corner of the house, I'm at work.
Yes.
When I leave that corner,
that didn't work for me at all.
It just kind of followed you around the house, right?
Yes, especially when you have younger kids.
Exactly, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it's really important to do that because otherwise the boundaries will get muddled and you will be up at 2 or 3 o'clock at night, answering emails, and then people get used to you answering emails at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
So,
yes, because when you work from the office and you go home, at least you only maybe have, most people maybe decide that they will not go back online. But if you're at home, it's easy if you have insomnia to just get up and go by my desk. I'm going to just work for an hour, and the next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then that's a prime example of when we were working from home as news reporters. It was so easy to get back on that computer and work. Yeah. And I found myself working more than I did work when I was in office, a lot more, because everything was so available. I was so comfortable, and I just wanted to write.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I had to draw that line.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. So what are the dangers of I want you to stress a little more for me, what are the dangers of being out of balance? So, for someone who is out of balance, people with extra pressure from their boss, always faced with tight deadlines, workplace is short staffed, so of course, they're carrying the weight of multiple employees. How can they get that balance back?
Okay. Well, first of all, our minds, our bodies, our spirits are all connected, right? Traditional medicine tends to separate everything and treat everything separately, but it's all connected. And so if your mind is not, you're not functioning properly, whether you're not, it's a mental illness or whether you're just exhausted,
right?
Your body is going to feel it. And if your body's feeling it, then everything else gets out of whack, right? So making sure that, again, creating that balance, which includes, making sure you're getting enough rest, making sure you're eating the right things, exercising, all the things that we know we're supposed to do, right? But in women, we are seeing more, young and younger with high blood pressure, persons getting diagnosed with, things like diabetes and obesity is huge. Here in Cayman and throughout the Caribbean region, because it's very easy to pick something up and run and eat on the go instead of actually preparing a proper meal and, allowing yourself to digest it properly and so forth. So we're seeing a lot of increase in chronic illness, burnout, persons, especially, again, women at a younger age having strokes and heart attacks and other chronic illnesses. And so it really shows you that the more we're pushing ourselves, the more demands we're placing on ourselves, it's not just wearing on us mentally, but it's also impacting us
in other areas.
Other areas, yeah.
Which is exactly why we wanted this month to highlight these different facets of, components that play a role in the way we live a healthy life and wellness. And this is one of them. So that's why we started off with this, because while you want to encourage everybody to be healthy and to move and be physically active, whether or not you're an elite athlete or just for leisure, all of these things play vital roles in the balance of a person. So you can exercise all you want. In fact, you can overdo that as well.
As well.
So this is why we wanted to initiate this wellness initiative and to have her speak to this. And then next week, you'll hear all the different components that all make it come together as one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any methods or any techniques that someone can apply to help get back that balance?
Breathe. Breathe. And we say, oh, breathing
We
is easy.
underestimate that a
right?
lot.
But the breath is really underestimated. And especially if you are very tense or you're feeling nervous or you're just, I need to take a break. Focusing on your breath, it distracts your mind from starting to do that spiraling and panicking and you know, going off. So, you know, just taking those 5 easy breaths and just
You're
allowing
absolutely
yourself
correct.
to...
About 2 weekends ago, I think I just needed a break.
Yeah.
And I did one of the things I have not done for a long time. I took a book that a friend gave me, and I can't remember what's in that book, but it's like sort of inspirational. It's an inspirational quote. And I went up to a quiet spot on the beach and found a spot to sit down. And I took my coloring pencils.
Yes.
And I colored.
Yes.
I colored, I think it was an elephant, in different colors.
Right.
And I just relaxed.
Yes.
Watched the ocean. And after about 1 hour, I felt so restored and refreshed.
Yeah.
And set for the week.
Yeah,
That was
you
the
have,
Sunday.
you have to give yourself that break. Otherwise, our bodies will take the break for us. And, you know, that's not what we want to happen.
And as naturally as athletes, we don't know anything about break. We just want to keep going.
Keep going.
As an athlete, I just want to keep going.
Yeah, but
as
there
of
comes
late,
a time that you realize now
that you have to.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Especially with me, as I've been recently been diagnosed with high blood pressure.
Mhm.
I've also realized the importance of taking that breath.
Yes.
Not just a break,
Yes.
that extra breathing.
Yes.
I learned how important that was for me. And also that high blood pressure doesn't necessarily come from the negative connotations that come with it. It can also come from excitement.
Yes.
Yeah. Things that we're excited about. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you have to take care of ourselves. For me recently, over the past, I'll share that over the last 2 years have been really a challenge physically and medically for me. And, recently we figured out what was going on. And one of the things was that being diagnosed with a chronic illness, but part of that was also that I got diagnosed with as a diabetic. And it was like, wow, okay, I need to make some changes.
Right.
And making the changes, not only in the nutrition, but also getting, the right medical support. It has been amazing. I know I don't want to say this because this lady's going to have me out doing all kinds of stuff when I say this, but prior to this, my energy level, my ability to just even walking across the parking lot was like, forget it. I was out of breath. I didn't have any, it was depression, all kinds of stuff, and just low energy. Being able to get back in check and finding that balance, and especially in terms of even, the environments that I placed myself in, making sure that I'm placing myself in places that are positive and fulfilling and not toxic.
Right.
Yeah.
My energy levels and my ability to do things has
improved drastically.
I have done 2 fights, and I no longer run. I used to be an athlete back in the day, right?
Football. Defense.
And track.
I remember.
But I actually participated in 2 5Ks. And 1 month I realized, I was like, whoa, this was 1 month. But it was because I had made those changes. And even though there were small changes, they helped my body start to get back in balance. Right. And sometimes we just, we have to just give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves.
You do. And sometimes that comes in all types of, that comes in many different ways. Because, a young woman, 7 to 1 year old, in my fitness group in the morning, said to me just this week, she was walking, I think she said she was walking up Kamana Bay with a friend, and her friend said to her, slow down, you're moving too fast. And she was like, wow, look at me. Because
71.
Yes, because that was her.
Right.
Yeah.
And now she's the one hustling, and her friends asking her to slow down.
Yeah.
So and I say that to say this, like the women in our fitness group, we have a variety of women, all shapes and sizes. And we're one big family.
Yes.
I mean, Dionne, you're a part of that
Yes.
group. And Shari, you used to come to that group.
I know, but see, now that Shari has gotten things back under control, Shari can now come back and participate.
And I'm going to ask...
You're just saying that because you're
you know, I'm now I've got like public, you know...
Public shame.
Shame, yeah. I'm going to have to show up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to talk about that, your Department of Sports Fitness group.
So I want to talk about that because we have a lot of women in that group. And like I said, they're all shapes and sizes. And we just love them all because we're all beautiful and unique the way we are. But this month we're doing, and we're sponsored by Flo.
Okay.
And GNC, but Flo's our big prize winner. Shout out to Dean and Mr. Dan
Ramon.
at Flo. So we had the women do the in-body test so that they can know what their body fat. So it's not about really losing weight. It's about trying to reduce your body fat.
Right.
And try to gain muscle. So just to live healthier. And we figure if the women could see this, then they would know where they need to improve. Mm-hmm. Baby steps. And at the end, whoever loses the most fat, body fat loss, we will be giving them lovely, lovely prizes from Flo. So last time they gave us Galaxies. I think this time it might be iPads.
Right.
Not sure yet, hasn't been confirmed, but definitely some nice prizes. And those women, I hope they're listening because they have homework to this program. But I'd like to say, like, among that group, we have a variety of women that work. Their work ethics and hours are completely different. Some people are in from early and leave early, but work still long hours. Or some people are like on the whole reel of all day and all evening. Mm-hmm. What would you recommend for the ones that let's deal with the say the typical woman that's coming out? She wants to come to exercise programs, but then she has to go back to work in the evening because she needs to make sure that she meets some deadlines, and then she has kids at home and a husband.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, again, going back to making that time for yourself, and as one of my colleagues shared, who is, again, she's an active athlete, she protects the time that she has for herself, you know? So I know that this individual, she will, works. She's in the gym early in the morning, and then she goes to work early, but at like 3-4 o'clock, she knows she's got to go and coach her students. That time is protected, and so she makes sure she does that. And then she goes back to work and then does another couple hours. So again, the balance is about doing things that, one, are good for you, but two, that you also enjoy doing. So, if you're doing, whether it's physical activities for yourself or you're doing something for someone else,
right?
In terms of coaching,
or whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. That also, feeds into the overall wellness of the individual.
And you're so right, because I'll call Tristan because he's one of the people that gives a lot of time to our program.
Yes.
We just finished doing that before I rushed here.
Right.
And he has stuff going on because he has a spouse that's been unwell.
Right.
But he keeps assuring me that I'm not giving back to you. You are helping me.
Yes.
Because when I come there, that gives me joy and I get to relax.
Yes.
And it's like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
He calls it therapy
Mm-hmm.
when he comes there. So he's saying to me, every time we say, thank you so much, look at all you have going on. Believe you me, I really enjoy coming there, and that's therapy for me.
Yeah.
So that's his therapy.
Yeah. Exactly.
And no one really talks about the balance of it all, being an athlete and being a wife, a mother, working and exercising because you want you to stay good looking good for your husband, that kind of thing. We don't. Or for yourself. No, but we've all been through it, And I enjoy going to Mita's fitness class because of that chemistry, that bond, and I feel good. Mm-hmm. I feel good. They say that it's best to work out in the morning. It's better to work out in the morning. But for the evening, for me, it's amazing how great I feel when I'm finished.
Yeah.
What do you call it when you bust a sweat?
No. Yeah. I think so too, and I think that we have a good balance because Tristan has a different approach, and I can't thank him enough for all that he has done and still does.
Right.
Outside of that, but everything to support my women in sports program, and I don't know how he does it because he's the only male, and he's so he balances that very well, like because the women will be up in there cackling and bashing men and that kind of stuff, and he just slides off his shoulders, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think we have one great big family there, and the people that have joined us since we have new people, they just fit in, and we all support each other, and everybody worry about what they can do, and you try to better you. So it doesn't matter if you can only get 10 in, and I can get 5, and she can get 15. You push yourself because it's about your journey.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone has asked, how do you sign up?
Well, we're full. Yeah. Absolutely full. Like now we just took, I think 15 new people in. Mm-hmm. And that's because some people rotated out and needed a break or said that they had other priorities. So, but they can just call up or give me their names, and we could get them on the waiting list.
And Miss Day and Mr. Westenhagen is also a good mental support as well in terms of, when I was going through what I was going through, and I know I can call Miss Day and she will...
1 o'clock in the morning.
Don't tell Sherry that.
No,
don't tell Dr. Sherry.
Are you up?
That's because I know she's up.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
She's a night owl like myself.
Exactly.
Yes, I think
that's when I function the best.
Yes. Yeah.
It's unfortunately that's the time I function the best, and that's the time I get my me time because the kids take up the time before that, right? So I am up at. I don't even want to tell you the hours. But
but I think to get back to the topic, specifics, but I think that this is one of the reasons why we really wanted to tap into this, because you can see it, and within the women now you could see some of them are like, you know what, I have to work, but I'm leaving the office at this time because this is good for me. I feel happy about this. This makes me feel happy.
Exactly.
And I need to do this even if I have to go back in to do my work.
Yep.
So I think that's why we wanted to push this, and then not only talk about work-life balance, but also talk about recovery. That's going to be coming up. That's going to be one of the other topics. And then also we're going to be talking about detox, everyday detox, simple things that you could do at home, because all of these different components work to make us all well and healthy. It's just not one part of it. We need to try to incorporate a little bit of everything. You can't, I'm not saying that you have to go out there and everything has to be zen where you're floating in the air on a magic carpet, but that downtime is very important. And if you don't do it, it will throw you down. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that you would like to share, Dr. Shari, maybe with someone who their work life is imbalanced at this moment? Anything you would like to let them know or share with them?
First of all, for them to understand they're not alone. Like, we all have our different journeys and our struggles. As Ms. Mita says, we're all coming from different, lives and pressures. But remember that you are worth taking care of yourself, And so, taking that small step, like whether it's, in the morning before everybody else gets up, that's just your time to have your cup of tea and just reflect. Or, writing a couple of notes or taking a walk around the house, anything that you can do for yourself that helps clear your mind, settle yourself. Because the more that our mind and our body become in sync, everybody's like worried about work, then the more productive we actually become, because then your mind is clear in terms of what you need to do. You have more energy to do those things. So again, just focusing on what is it that I need and allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to do that. And once you do that, especially, we have mom like yourself, a mom with young kids and, husband, by showing them that we are making ourselves priority, then we are teaching them and modeling to them that they need to do the same thing.
Very true.
And, so if you even have, you have a family, well, you know what? This is quiet time, or this is the time that we're going to go outside, all of us, and go and just take a walk. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to do 5 miles, but just being present and, oh, wow, look at that banana bird in that tree, and listening to the parrots fly across, just paying attention to what's going on.
Or even having a meal together, because I'm not judging anyone. I think some families still do, but many people do not even do that.
Yeah.
You're watching TV as you're eating, not sitting down together so that you could share how your day was like was like and what this person did and catch up. I think that that's super important. And going back to what you said about permission to prioritize time for you. If you're not well, you're not good to anyone in your family.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it has to be a balance.
Yeah.
But definitely you have to take care of you. Yeah.
All right. That's it, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
for
stopping
having
by.
me.
The time flew by so quickly. We could have done this for an hour. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you coming on our show and spreading your knowledge. It's really important. It was important for me, and I'm sure for Ms. Day and her fitness group that's listening. They better be. So
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information on sporting activities here in the Cayman Islands. If you would like the opportunity to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. You can check out our Radio Cayman Sports Extra social media pages to keep up to date with all things that I cover in my local sports reports. You can also log on to Radio Cayman YouTube channel for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. I'm Dionne Anglin. Me today, Shari Smith. Good night.
Good night.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Radio Cayman Sports Extra.
As a coach, I thoroughly agree. The athlete has just qualified for the World Championship on the biggest stage in the fire. The guys we've been training for the last 5 months now. So
Here is where tradition never dies. This is your radio.